picture we are about to see, we must remember that the explosive power of atomic bombs used in this test was in the kiloton range.
Okay.
The explosive power of today's hydrogen bomb is measured in terms of megatons.
Okay.
What does that mean to us?
I hope you can tell us.
It's a matter of practical application.
Okay.
It takes 1,000 kilotons to equal 1 megaton.
That's very practical.
And by applying the scaling laws, the proportionate comparative effects of a larger bomb can be determined.
Right, so bigger bomb, big... Oh my God, there's math?
Here was rated at
Why is there math in this
kilotons.
movie?
For comparison, let's use a 20 megaton H-bomb.
Okay.
The 20 megaton bomb, therefore, would be 667 times as strong
times 30,
as a 30 kiloton bomb.
Yes.
The relationship between distance for any given pressure and the size of nuclear weapons follows the cube root scaling law. So theoretically, a hydrogen bomb of 20 megatons at approximately 8.5 miles would have about the same destructive power as an atomic bomb of 30 kilotons at 1 mile.
Fantastic.
In
How
this
can we
test,
get...
many of the structures were approximately 1 mile from ground zero.
Oh boy.
In the case of a 20 megaton H-bomb explosion, most of these structures undoubtedly would be obliterated.
I got
and
it.
actually, at a distance of 8.5 to 9 miles from ground zero, with the longer duration of blast pressure, we could expect to
Is there going to be a movie anytime soon, or is this just advanced calculus?
1 mile from ground zero in this test.
Well, it's Christmas at ground zero. Oh boy.
Although depicting the severe effects of a nuclear weapon,
yeah, we get it. We get it. Bombs are bad. Carry on!
That would result from a nuclear weapon in the multi-megaton range.
This is the original version of Oppenheimer. A presentation of the Federal Civil Defense Administration. Do more math. Oh, thank God.
At the Atomic Energy Commission's Nevada test site, I covered the story of Operation Cube, a program to test the effects of an atomic blast upon the things we use in our everyday lives.
I think this is Barbie and Oppenheimer together. Ooh, this is how CDs were invented. Beep, 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 beep. Must be a lighting truck. Operation Cube.
The atomic test program of the Federal Civil Defense
Thanks for dropping me off!
As seen by Joan Cowan, reporter.
Joan Crawford, reporter.
I had to see Operation
Howdy,
Cube
sailor.
through many eyes, not only my own, but as a reporter through the
This
eyes
isn't real.
of the average American man.
You're next. Go ahead. Good
I arrived
luck.
at Civil Defense Headquarters the day before the explosion was scheduled to take place.
Yeah, I want a pizza.
With the official who was to brief me about the test.
Yeah, this is the test.
Of the entire layout, a member of the Civil Defense staff.
Let me stand behind you and show you the map.
The scope of the test and the detailed care with which it had been planned amazed me as
he loved his trains.
We begin with the question of shelter. For shelter might save our lives if we were far enough away from ground zero. If so,
probably
what
not.
kinds of shelter are effective? Several kinds are to be tested, from elaborate industrial shelters to the box-type shelter in the corner room of a basement. This type would give more room for a family, especially if it were necessary to remain there for several days.
Ain't gonna work. Oh!
In this frame house without a basement, at the 4,700-foot line, we will test a bathroom shelter built of reinforced concrete. The entrance door and outside window covering are designed to resist blast.
Yeah, not gonna work.
I asked about the possible loss of utilities and what this would mean to survivors. No electricity for
Jim has volunteered to stay and restore power.
Loss of power may be one of our biggest problems after an attack.
Why are you talking like that?
Power lines, pole transformers,
she just asked you a question.
And substations are to be tested by the Edison Institute. How will they withstand this blast? How long will it take to make repairs? How soon can service be reestablished? These are things we hope to learn from the test.
We're not going to learn them, but we hope to.
One complete transformer substation has been erected relatively close to the shock tower.
Erected.
A second substation and power lines have been placed at a much greater distance from the tower.
Thinking
This is
about
Larry.
news during an atomic attack, I asked about radio towers.
No, we're just going to have Larry
Two
go
kinds
from
are to
door
be
to door.
tested. One tower is self-supporting without guy wires. The other has supporting cables. Both types are very common.
No, they're going to be completely blown away.
Nearby, a complete radio transmitter will actually broadcast from tape before the shot to be picked up by radios in the test houses. Both liquefied petroleum and natural gas facilities will be tested.
And
Will the
blown
fittings
up.
and connections stand the test? Will there be fires?
Yes.
All equipment is installed and checked by technical experts from the LP Gas Association and the American Gas Association.
Ooh, that's the long plane.
18,000-gallon supply tank, partially filled with propane and complete with feed pipes. A weighing and storage house and delivery platform have been erected on the test site.
Keep saying erected.
I was anxious to learn all I could about the various types of houses to be tested.
5 types are prepared for exposure to the blast and
This
heat
guy's
of this
really
atomic
coming in with the
explosion.
answers.
First, a single-story frame rambler without basement built on a concrete slab.
I'm a rambler.
Second, a 2-story masonry
This one
with
was made of
basement,
sticks.
constructed of brick, backed
Oh,
with
bricks.
4-inch cinder blocks. Third,
And this
a
little
house of
piggy.
8-inch concrete blocks reinforced with steel. The fourth type is a single-story rambler made of precast lightweight concrete. Walls and roof panels were joined by welding steel lugs. The fifth, at the 5,500-foot line, is a redesigned house similar to one previously tested. This new design provides additional strength at a cost increase of approximately 10%.
They're really going through all the motions and making it look good.
That's the real
They're gonna
purpose of
blow the
testing
hell
these
out of it.
houses, to find their weak points. Through the cooperation of the furniture and appliance
Here, you guys
industries,
got this? Ah, no, we don't. It's
furnishings
too
were
heavy.
installed in
Oh,
the
God.
houses. Mannequin families supplied by private
Hello,
industry
I'm a mannequin
are to
family.
represent Mr. and Mrs. America.
Hello, I'm Baby America. Bonk.
Interior
Really
home
whacked her head.
furnishings donated by industry are complete in every detail. I looked at the mannequins sitting about so indifferently.
Because I'm a woman and looking at mannequins
Naturally, I was
impresses
very
me.
interested in
Gee.
preparations for the testing of textiles and synthetic fabrics.
I wish I had
Rows of
arms.
mannequins were set up in the open facing the blast.
No.
Each item of clothing and each color had been
Hello,
carefully selected
hello.
to give much needed survival
Come here often?
information.
No.
I was especially
Grandma's
interested
pantry.
in the food test program. Canned and packaged foods are to be tested. As a mother and housewife, this appealed to me.
Yes, because
I had
I'm a
several questions
woman.
to ask. Would food in the average home be safe to eat after a blast?
No, I can answer.
Food
You guys don't have to do
testing in
these tests.
Operation Q is planned to answer this and other vital questions. Some foods are to be tested in the house, stored in the usual way.
The usual way.
Other foods, including fresh meats, butter, and similar
Peas,
perishables,
corns.
are to be tested just below the level of the ground at 3 positions along the main test line. This will expose the food to high-intensity radiation.
Can you
without
imagine like a
risking
rabbit
destruction
coming
of
by
the
and go, wow,
containers.
look at all this food. This
Test
food is
items
great.
include sterilized foods packaged in cartons, metal, and glass. All will be exposed according to plan to give us the most survival
I've
information.
been working on the food ditch
The night of the
all
actual
the
explosion,
livelong
or
day.
rather early in the morning, came at last. On Media Hill, television equipment was ready to bring the test into homes from coast to coast. Reporters, commentators, military and civil defense
That one
observers
guy from
all
the
had a
Hindenburg
purpose:
disaster.
to study the results of
Who's
this
it? What?
explosion.
The
At a position a
snowman.
mile forward from Media Hill, the Civil Defense Field Exercise Group had assembled with
We
their
can stand closer. We don't need to be this far back. We're going to do it at night. We're really going to light up the
A small
sky.
group of civil defense volunteers were to occupy a trench relatively close to ground
Oh, my
zero.
God.
On Media Hill, where I remained, there was hot coffee, last-minute briefings, and more waiting. But it seemed no time at all before the loudspeaker warned,
H minus 1 minute. Put
1
on your
minute?
goggles.
Oh, God.
Observers without goggles must face away from the blast.
on the silent desert, the test objects waited.
H minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom!
5,
3, 2, 1.
4,
2, 1.
3,
2, 1.
2,
1.
1,
Kaboom!
0.
For one glorious moment, it was summer. Ooh, didn't survive. Ooh. Oh no! Yikes! Oh, this house will be fun. Oh God! Wow, this house is doing pretty well. It's strong. It's oh, actually, that one might have done. Oh no! Kaboom!
24 hours elapsed.
24 hours! What are you doing?
The results of the explosion.
Let's see how the blast affected the houses.
Yeah, we can see
What
it.
remained of the masonry house that was not reinforced.
It's not going to matter. I love picking through radioactive.
This is the house constructed of
Garbage.
reinforced concrete blocks after
Oh, look
the
at that.
explosion.
It did really, really well. No,
Although the redesigned two-story frame house was severely damaged, the structural improvements had strengthened its resistance considerably.
I mean, everybody's dead
As
inside,
seen here,
but
although
we can
basement
resell the
shelters
house.
offered some degree of protection, they cannot be depended upon completely in potential blast areas. The reinforced bathroom shelter was standing intact beneath the ruins of the house, so this type also offered some degree of protection. The upper section of one unguided radio tower collapsed from the tremendous force of the blast. The guide tower was slightly twisted by a power pole which fell across one of the guy wires. Within the concrete radio house, equipment had been shaken up, but as soon as power was restored, the transmitter resumed broadcasting. The 18,000-gallon tank of liquefied petroleum gas was undamaged. Tests showed that even the connections were intact. The weighing and storage house was scattered across the desert, but the consumer-sized
There's
tanks
some.
were unharmed.
There's some,
Power
and there's
lines
some.
and transformers suffered some damage, but most of the power poles were still standing or could be repaired.
Well, I mean,
The
anything could
power
be prepared.
substation was not seriously harmed.
Yeah.
Edison Institute personnel tested all lines and found the station to be operative.
Operator, who's going to
Food
eat
and
this
cases
food?
of
We've got
canned
free
goods were
food. It's
taken
all
away
cooked,
for laboratory tests.
pre-cooked.
Do you remember this young lady?
I do.
This tattoo mark was left
Oh, my
beneath
God.
the dark pattern.
Sir.
And
how
this
dare
young
you.
man.
Yes.
This is how the blast charred and faded the outer layer of his new dark suit.
So he's dead. He can be
During all this
buried without a
activity, the
new
mass
suit.
feeding group was improvising to feed the test observers. I particularly remember some roast beef. It was done to perfection and roasted in cans which could have been salvaged from demolished buildings.
Oh my God. Let's have a barbecue.
I watched the people eating and realized that mass feeding is an important job in civil defense. I took a last look at the debris and devastation.
Debris.
This time it was only a test, a well-planned test, not a real attack. It was a test of the things we use.
Ma'am,
in
could you not
everyday
walk into the...
life.
Ma'am?
Many lessons were learned from this test that affect civil defense planning. And it must be borne
We don't
in mind
remember them because
that
we're all
multi-megaton
dead now.
weapons would result in much greater damage over a larger area.
Oh my God, please
All
don't go
these
back into
factors
math.
must be considered as we plan for the survival of our homes, our families, and our nation in the nuclear
Under
age.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for